Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Stamp It Up with Jamie. Happy first day of our new live catalog. That's very, very exciting. I've had lots of orders come through. A lot of you are getting your hands on lots of new goodies. And I'm super excited to share a new project with you. I just realized I forgot a piece of Night of Navy cardstock. So I'm just going to grab that quickly while everybody's getting on. Okay, go. There we go. So, here's our new catalog. It went live today, so you can order from it. Tons and tons and tons. Oh, I can show you the inside now. So lots and lots of new product, new goodies, stamps, bundles, paper, embellishments, basically everything you can imagine this catalog has. And we also have a new beginner, I think this is called a beginner brochure. So this is also full of kind of simpler projects for those of us that are just starting out or looking for like a simpler design, that sort of thing. I'm going to get this guy here. I love this, the cute fruit. I think that is just so stinking adorable. Hi, Renice. Hello, hello. You've been busy today. So that's the new catalog. It went live today. If you haven't received one, just let me know. I'd be happy to pop one in the mail for you tonight. You know what? I didn't even check to see. Nope, hold on. Well, I can show you the inside now. It's so exciting. I couldn't show you the inside for the longest time. World of Good 2426. Okay, so the suite that we're going to play with tonight is the World of Good bundle. And specifically the Beautiful World stamp set and then the coordinating dies, which are called World Map dies. So there's the bundle. Hi, Karen. Good evening. Who says oh, Lynn, your list is long. It's a good one. It's definitely a good one. So I've been very busy tonight. Now, confession. Okay, normally I make tonight's card that I do Wednesday night. Oh, I like to make it maybe Monday, Tuesday, over the weekend, preferably. But today was a little crazy that I made it literally a half an hour ago. So I hope you like it. It's a little on the simpler side than I would do for a Wednesday. But again, today just was absolutely crazy and it kind of got away from me. So here's the card I'm making though. I hope you like it. Let me show you. Again, I showed you in the catalog, but this is the stamp set, Beautiful World. It is a red rubber stamp, a cling mount. I love this because I'm excited to use it for scrapbooking for some of our traveling and overseas travels that we do. I'm always looking for a good kind of map, so to speak. And it has some really great dies that it goes with. Sorry, I got a glare. And these are, again, are the World Map dies. You can buy this as a bundle and save the 10%. Great because these kind of cut out some of the images in the stamp set, but then we also have some standalone ones as well. Hi, Terry. Good evening. Thank you for joining me. So let's just dive in here and get going. So you're going to start off with Night of Navy base. This is our 4 1/4. Oh my goodness. I forgot the bone folder every week without fail. 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5. That's our card base. I love Night of Navy. So when I was kind of in a time crunch tonight, it was like I sat down, I kind of knew what I wanted to do. I'm like, okay, what colors am I doing? And of course I went for navy because it's my favorite, probably my favorite color. It just inspires me. I love just a rich royal blue. So that's our card base. We're going to create our stamped maps here, and for that you're going to need a panel of Whisper White cardstock. This is what is it? 3 3/4. No, hold on. Yes, 3 3/4 by 5. And we're going to just kind of create our own stamped background. Now, what's fun about the stamp set is that it has both sides of the world for us. So we have like North America, South America, then Africa, Asia, Australia, Europe, so to speak. So I'm actually using both. And there's great texture in the stamp set. So when I initially stamped it, I thought, oh, did I not like stamp it down well enough? Hi, Julie. But there is just, it's like this texture in the stamp. I'm going to stamp it in Night of Navy ink. Hold on, flip it around again. I'll get it eventually. And to kind of make sure it's like symmetrical, although I'm not like super trying to be super precise about this. I'm not measuring it. I'm not marking it. I'm kind of just eyeballing it. But I'm going to start with direct center. That's the first one I'm going to stamp. And then I'm going to kind of work my way around from there. Okay, so I'm going to start with, we're going to call it the North America one. Or I guess I could say West Hemisphere. Oh my goodness, I'm probably butchering all this. And I'm going to stamp right center-ish. Try for center at least. Beautiful. Then I'm going to take my Eastern Hemisphere stamp and stamp to the right. Again, I'm not measuring. I'm literally, like that's a little low. I'm just eyeballing it. I stamp that one on either side. Then I'm going to come up kind of sandwiched between these guys here above it with my Eastern Hemisphere. Oh, that one's a little crooked. And then this one opposite it. Then I'm going to come down here. I'm going to stick with my Western Hemisphere stamp and then my Eastern Hemisphere. Creating my own sort of pattern paper, which is really fun. Okay, you can set that aside. We're done with our globes, these ones at least. Okay, and that's our finished product. And then I'm going to mat it on one of our new metallics. I'm going to get a glare, so I apologize, and you're going to see the reflection of everything. This is brass. It's our new metallic. It's called brass. And it's kind of like a mixture, I'm going to say, between it's almost like bronze. Like a mix between a gold and a bronze almost. Bronze is a little bit more red. This is a little bit more gold. And I'm just going to adhere that. And over the other. Like so. Okay, so it's just like a little bit of shimmer that you get right behind the globes, the worlds. Your hands would be totally Night of Navy by now. Oh no! Lynn, that's funny. I stuck my thumb in it earlier. I stuck it right in the ink pad. I was like, whoops. That's funny. Okay. So I guess we can go ahead and adhere that down onto our, I am running really low on this. I hope it doesn't die like right in the middle of doing tonight's live. I'm going to adhere that right onto our Night of Navy cardstock. And then we're going to start, I guess we'll start on that. So I didn't know what to do. I created this globe and then I created this pattern paper and I was like, now what do I do? So I kind of created a textured background for it to go on. I used the Stitched Nested Labels dies. And this one is the one that measures, it's like 2 5/8 by like 4 5/8-ish, something like that. And I didn't cut it out ahead of time. That was silly. I guess I could have. I'm just going to cut it out of a panel of Whisper White cardstock here. Just switch everything around. I had it set to emboss, which we're going to do in a second. Okay, so we have our nested die, which is beautiful because it's got that nice stitching around. It's very subtle because I added texture, you know, it's subtle, but it's there, the stitched edge. And now we're going to emboss it using the Old World Paper 3D embossing folder. It's part of that suite. This picture, I just don't think it does it justice. It's kind of like a weird picture, really. But it's got this great texture to it. It almost looks like you hand, like, crunched it, squished it. And let's see here. I don't even remember if I did texture out or texture in, to be honest with you. I think I did it this way. Nope, I think I did it that way. I'm not exactly sure. We're either going to have texture out or texture in. I don't remember how I did it. just switch this around here. And then run that through my die cutting / embossing machine here. Okay, I did the same. I did texture in. And that's what you end up with. So it really looks like this natural, almost like I took it and just kind of went, like squished it. But I didn't. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside because I got to kind of create my globe here. So I took those world map dies, and from the brass foil, I cut out a Western Hemisphere globe. Again, there's both, but I used the Western Hemisphere. And then I used this circle to cut out a Night of Navy circle. Now, what's nice about these two is that the circle is ever so slightly larger than the world. So it gives it almost like this matted look. I just love that they didn't have it perfectly lined up. Oops, hold on. I got a couple stragglers here. That one and then that one. Is that it? Let me tell you, when you cut these out, you're going to have a million little pieces everywhere. I know from experience. So I'm using liquid glue just to adhere this down onto the Night of Navy. Again, it's a little bit, so don't go flush to the end, because then on one side it's really going to be off. Just leave like a little, it's probably like 1/8, 1/16 of an edge around it. And then you're going to need a panel of a little scrap piece of Whisper White. And we're going to stamp the little, what is that? Like a little ledge? I don't even know what that is. Little stand. How about we call it a stand? It's this guy here. Our little stand. I'm keeping this card pretty monochromatic. I'm sticking with the brass and the Night of Navy. I love monochromatic anyways. If it was for me, it would probably just be all black and white. I mean, blue and white. Okay, so then we need, what in the world did I do with it? There, no, that's not them. Oh, there they are. Wow, I'm like, I lost the dies somehow. They do have the dies come up with a little die to cut out the stand. Oh my goodness, I have stuff everywhere. And I lost, there it is. Okay, so off camera here, I'm just gonna cut out the little stand here. Again, stamped in Night of Navy ink. And it has a textured look to it. So I'll show you in a second. You're gonna see it's not like a super textured. That's the only way I can really describe it. So if you stamp it, you're like, oh, I didn't get a good stamp. No, that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the look. Okay. So let's see here. I think let's go ahead and do our sentiment and then we'll just assemble it all together. So I have a graduation party, party, I guess. I don't know if it'll still be on, but someone I know is graduating. And so I used the sentiment, congratulations on this new beginning. I figured it was very fitting and perfect. So I'm going to do some embossing here, which I forgot to get my white embossing powder out. Oops. There we go. Okay, so the embossing buddy has retired. It is no longer available, but I hope you grabbed it because it's super helpful when you are embossing on especially dark colors. So get that, and then there we go. My Versamark ink. Okay, so I'm going to stamp the sentiment flush to the bottom of my panel of Night of Navy here. Oh, thanks, Beth. I'm glad you like it. So, but I'm not going to stamp it too far left or too far right. I'm going to leave. Oh, I don't know if that's stamped. No, that is so crooked. Okay, let's try that again. Woo, that was really, really crooked. As soon as I stamped it down, I said, that's not right. I just did it. Have you ever done that? Like you stamped and you're like, I totally am off. So let me try that again. Let me go slower. And concentrate a little bit more. There we go. That's still a little off. Hold on. I can't do it. I can't in good conscience. do that. Hold on, we're gonna try it over here now. When I stamped my example, I got it spot on the first time, so I didn't think it was gonna be an issue. No matter what, we're doing this one. Oh, that's good. Okay. So it was a little, like, I had to put it slightly to the right. Okay, so then you're gonna stamp in Versamark ink, sprinkle it generously with your embossing powder. Close everything up, because when you turn your heat tool on, you don't want it going everywhere. I've done that a few times. And let me just get the heat tool here. You're going to heat it up until it goes from a powder to a nice shiny white. And it doesn't take too long. Don't overheat it, you'll burn the paper. As soon as it's nice and shiny, you can stop. I didn't cut this piece of paper, this cardstock, ahead of time. Well, I'm glad I didn't, because I didn't stamp it straight. And also I find when I stamp really, really thin sentiments or images or something that needs to be a very tight cut, I find that stamping and then cutting, even if I know the exact measurements, is just easier. So I'm going to take my trimmer here. So it ends up being, it's like a half an inch. Half an inch. Yep, that's like perfect. And then I want to kind of gauge, because this was, okay, so confession, you ready for this? I adhered everything down. I adhered the spanner, I adhered the globe, the little stand down, and then I was like, what do I do with the sentiment? So I decided to do the sentiment under it, but I had already put the adhesive down, so I actually cut it. I cut it and then kind of put them up next to each other so that it would look like they were still together, but they were actually two different pieces. Okay, so when this is all done, I'll give you the exact measurements I used, but right now I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Again, because it was kind of like a last minute thought. Hold on, bear with me. No, a little bit shorter. Like a smudge. How about there? Okay, so in the end, this measures a half an inch by 3 5/8. So this is going to get a little complicated here because I did this sort of all backwards. So all you're going to do here for the nest is you're going to trim right below the angle. So I'm going to trim right below it. It ends up measuring in length about 3.5 inches. Tip to top, it ends up being about 3.5 inches. You can't even tell. Good. I'm glad that was the intention. I really try to line it up like super. I mean, I guess if you analyze it, it's a little bit off, so you can probably tell. But unless I didn't tell you, you probably wouldn't have noticed. Okay, so first let's adhere down our little banner here. Has lots of texture, so you may want to use liquid glue, but I'm just using a lot of a snail. Okay, so that's first. Then comes our sentiment. And I have it, I'm just kind of estimating here because, like I said, I did it kind of the reverse. But I'm adhering it just a little above that angle there. A little bit. And then these guys I'm going to adhere down with dimensionals. Mini ones for the stand. You can get 2 on there. Oops. If you angle it just right, you can get another one on there. And then 2 for our globe. But I want to not put it too low because I want it to overlap a little. Okay, so this is going to end up going like that. I just kind of want to get an eyeball. And then I kind of tilted the world a little bit. tilt-a-whirl. Like that. Perfect. Okay. So peel our stand like that. Oop. Oop. Oh my goodness, everything's sticking to me here. And I guess the sentiment should have been over just a little bit because it's getting a little tight. It's not exactly center. Let's see here. Hold on. Can I make it work? Okay. So center would be to your point here. You can kind of use that as a gauge. And then peel your sentiments. I mean, not your sentiments, your dimensionals, excuse me. And I have it overlapping just a little bit there so that you almost don't see that little bit of white line at the very top. And so that the globe is kind of sitting in the stand. There you go. Ta-da! Super easy. I feel like if you didn't want to do the whole die cutting and the whole globe and embossing, even just the stamped background is really fun. Anytime you can create like your own background is just fun because you can use different colors and different styles and different whatever combinations. So there you go. If you've been watching and you have yet to leave a comment, please do so, because as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to draw a name for someone to receive tonight's card. And if you have any questions, certainly let me know. Get those orders in with the new catalog. It's a good catalog. Get your wish list ready to go. And I will see everyone back next week. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, everyone.